Scrooge was a mean old miser. If he had a heart, it was frozen solid. He didn't care for anyone or anything, except his money. He disliked everything. Most of all, he hated Christmas. When someone would wish him a Merry Christmas, he would grumble, "Bah, humbug."
Poor Bob Cratchit was working late for Scrooge again. He very much wanted to go home to his family. After all, it was Christmas Eve. Finally, old Scrooge allowed Cratchit to leave. "Would you like to spend Christmas with my family?" he asked Scrooge. "Nonsense! Christmas? Bah! Humbug! Now leave me alone. I have work to do," Scrooge answered.
Late that night, Mr. Scrooge went home to his dark house. It was the saddest and gloomiest house in all of London. As he got to his door, the knocker appeared to turn the face of his partner, Jacob Marley, who had died years ago. Frightened, Scrooge hurried inside and went straight to his bedroom. He changed into his nightshirt and crawled into bed. "Ebenezer Scrooge!" a voice cried out in the dark room. Suddenly, a ghost appeared, covered in locks and chains. "Marley, why do you haunt me?" said Scrooge, shaking with fright. "To save you from yourself, Ebenezer," the ghost cried. "Tonight you will be visited by 3 spirits, the ghosts of Christmas past, Christmas present, and Christmas yet to come. They will show you the true meaning of Christmas." "Ghosts and spirits indeed," growled Scrooge. The spirit cried, "Look at my chain." It was made of purses, cash boxes, and money bags, all clasped together with iron locks. "I made this in life, and your chain shall be even heavier, but you may still have time to free yourself." The ghost vanished. "Humbug," said Scrooge, as he blew out his candle and drifted off to sleep.
"Ebenezer Scrooge!" a voice called. "I am the ghost of Christmas past, your past. Rise and walk with me." The foggy London streets were gone. In their place were farms and fields. "Where are we?" asked Scrooge. "Have you forgotten your childhood, Ebenezer?" asked the spirit. "Why, this is my old schoolhouse," Scrooge said with surprise. "Yes, Ebenezer, that little child sitting alone is you." "Many a Christmas you spent alone without friends or family," said the spirit. "Money became your only joy in love."
Then Scrooge saw himself as a young man again. Beside him was a woman, Belle. I had almost forgotten how beautiful she was. Scrooge sighed. "You were to marry her, remember?" asked the spirit. "But gold was more important to you." "No! Spirit! Take me away! Forgive me, Belle!" cried Scrooge. When Scrooge looked up, he was back in his room, and the spirit was gone. Scrooge drifted off to sleep.
Scrooge soon woke with a startle to find a giant beside his bed. "I am the ghost of Christmas present. Come closer and touch my robe." Scrooge and the spirit went flying above the rooftops. They came to a shabby cottage, too small for a large family sitting down for Christmas Eve dinner. Bob Cratchit came in, and on his shoulders was Tiny Tim, his youngest child, who was too weak to walk without a crutch. Raising his glass, Bob Cratchit said, "Let us all drink to the health of Mr. Scrooge, to whom we owe this feast." All the children groaned, except for Tiny Tim, who lifted his cup in his frail, trembling hands and said, "God bless us, every one." "Spirit," said Scrooge, "tell me, will Tiny Tim live?" The spirit replied, "I see an empty stool and a crutch in the corner. If these shadows remain unchanged, the child will die." "No, Spirit," Scrooge begged. "Don't let the boy die." "It is not by my kindness that he will live, but by yours, Ebenezer. If you truly care, come now," said the spirit.
Scrooge travelled with the spirit that night to see many families, both rich and poor, seeing the love and joy of the Christmas spirit. "Before you leave, tell me, Spirit, what is that I see moving beneath your robe?" asked Scrooge. The spirit opened his robe, and clinging to his legs were two small children, a small, ragged boy and a forlorn little girl. "Are they yours, Spirit?" asked Scrooge. "This boy is ignorance, this girl is want. Beware them both," the spirit said sadly, then disappeared.
Scrooge stood shivering in the new-fallen snow. He turned to find himself before a dark, gloomy spirit. Are you the ghost of Christmas yet to come?" asked Scrooge, his voice quivering. The spirit said nothing, but nodded in reply. The spirit fixed his eyes upon Scrooge, then pointed a bony finger towards the mist. "Lead on, spirit," moaned Scrooge. The spirit said nothing. Scrooge then saw what he dreaded most, the empty stool and the little crutch of Tiny Tim. "No, Spirit, no!" Scrooge cried out. "Tell me it isn't so." Scrooge began to weep. As he raised his head, he found he was in a graveyard. The spirit was pointing to a tombstone. Scrooge drew close to the grave. There on the headstone was his name, Ebenezer Scrooge. "No, Spirit, I will be a better man. Please, no, no!"
Scrooge suddenly awoke on Christmas morning to find himself back in his own bed. The spirits had done their work in one night. Excitedly, Scrooge ran to the window, threw open the shutters, and shouted, "Merry Christmas!" Then, as he spotted a passing boy, he called out, "Boy, hurry! Go down the street and buy the big turkey that hangs in the butcher's shop, and take it down to Bob Cratchit's house." He tossed a large bag of gold coins down to the boy. "Friends are worth more than all the gold in the world," said Scrooge.
From then on, he made sure Bob Cratchit and his family had all the good food and warm clothing they needed, and Tiny Tim grew to be healthy and strong, living to be an old man. After that night, Scrooge was a much better man and kept the spirit of Christmas alive every day of his life.